SVG-TV News headlines sponsored in part by Flo.
In the headlines, NEMO director reiterates call for persons to be vigilant and heed all precautions issued during the hurricane season. Bahamas government ramping up public awareness campaign in the fight against climate change weeks after Hurricane Dorian devastation. Swedish teenager activist accuses world leaders at the UN of failing to act on climate change. And in sports, Chris Green and Imran Tahir shine as Guyana Amazon Warriors qualify for Hero CPL playoffs. These and other stories coming up in SVG-TV's Evening News and Sports.
That was the news headline sponsored in part by Flo.
Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV News and Sports for Monday, September 22, 2019. I am Yvette Boynes with the details. Director of the National Emergency Management Organization, Michelle Forbes, is again appealing to Vincentians to be vigilant and heed all precautions issued during the hurricane season. Her comments come on the heels of Tropical Storm Karen, which passed over the island yesterday. The system, which was lingering in the Atlantic, was being closely monitored, and on Sunday morning, SVG was placed on the Tropical Storm Watch. Forbes said there were no reports of major damage, though there were heavy rainfall and gusty winds on both the mainland and in the Grenadines. She said though the warning was discontinued, the island is still seeing the lingering effects of Tropical Storm Karen.
This morning also, because we've just been informed by the Port Authority that they had to suspend ferry services because we're becoming dangerous for the ferries from Beckway and the Grenadines to be operating. So we can still see lingering drought during today. Some rough seas, some gusty winds, and even some rainfall, heavy rainfall, as we're still on the flood watch. So not much reports of damage. We just had, as I said, the high surf in Beckway. On the west coast, we had 1 or 2 landslides, and the poles that were falling at Gibson Corner, we had 2 poles falling there, and Vinec was able to deal with those into last night. We would have had only 8 persons sought shelter in Myro, but by the evening they went back home. 8 persons sought shelter in the 2 shelters in Myro in particular, but then we didn't have any other shelters that were occupied yesterday during the passage of Tropical Storm Karen. But we continue to monitor today, continue to receive information on any assessments that we may need to carry out.
Forbes said although the tropical storm warning was issued over the weekend, the emergency services were still able to mobilize effectively.
Being it on a Sunday morning and going straight from a watch into a warning would definitely pose some challenge, but the fact that we had information out all weekend, we still encourage persons to listen, because things can change suddenly within a short space of time, overnight, or within a few hours, and that was the case of Karen. On Sunday morning, we were able to mobilize quickly our community structures and our key agencies and also the police. And at that point, Karen looks like it was heading towards the southern Grenadines between Canawan, Union Island, Mustique area. So we were able to contact those communities directly and for them to make the necessary information available to their community persons. So that went fairly well, with a lot with the support of the police, who really went around on the islands to gather that information, and our contact with those persons and in the district disaster committees in Union Island, Mairo, Canawan and Bequia.
The NEMO director said currently the Met services are monitoring another system off the coast of Africa. She said it is important for Vincentians to stay alert as the hurricane season is still very active.
We keep saying it's the hurricane season and persons need to continue to monitor. And we want to emphasize this carefully, especially when a system is approaching, especially on a weekend, especially on an evening, late evening, because the Met services have been out there with the information all weekend, and we basically disseminated the information that the Met services was putting out, if you want to put it that way. So going forward, I just want us to continue to remain vigilant during this hurricane season. There's another system coming off the African coast that should be Lorenzo, if it hasn't upgraded to Lorenzo by now. That one had quite a potential for going straight into, quickly went into a tropical storm system, but it doesn't, no threat to this part of the region at this time. And going forward, we still have a couple of days to go, but no threat to this part of the region at this time. It has been quite an active few weeks, and we need to continue to monitor the systems and the information from the Met services as we go along.
Meanwhile, the NEMO director has sought to clarify what constitutes an essential service, noting that yesterday there were several reports on radio and on social media indicating that persons were called out to work, most of them being persons employed at bakeries and other places where food and beverages are sold. Forbes said when a tropical storm warning is issued and that only essential workers are to report to work, this must be taken seriously, noting that the weather conditions can bring with it heavy rainfall, winds and storm surges, which can be deadly for persons who are caught in them. Emphasizing that tropical storms are dynamic and can change quickly, Forbes said as such, businesses should not be open during such time, as persons should be home or in a shelter.
Sometimes you don't know how bad it's going to impact us. It may not impact us much, but if we don't get it, another country is getting it. We saw yesterday we did not get the heavy rains as we anticipated. Tobago got it, Trinidad got it. Last night Dominica got a good bit of the rainfall also. So it all depends on how the system is moving, what it does when it gets to you, and sometimes it changes so much as it is coming towards you. So a few hours you may have it looking like you have a lot of rainfall, it may change up again and the rainfall may be repositioned on a different part of the system in terms of the quadrant. If you're on the northern side of a system, that tends to be the strongest, you tend to get the strongest winds. And then it depends on how intense the system is, then you get the rainfall throughout. And these systems they're dynamic, they're changing all the time. So the information in terms of the procedures are given to safeguard life and property, because we do not know how the systems are going to behave when it comes up on St. Vincent. But once a warning, the tropical storm warning or the hurricane warning is given for St. Vincent and it's within a certain distance and time in terms of hours for St. Vincent, we have to ensure that our people are protected and people may not get off the street, businesses are closed, and people are hunkered down to protect their own life and their property.
The NEMA director further appealed to the business community to adhere to the warnings and consider the lives of their employees.
It's clear. We are still seeing some of our businesses opening during this period, calling out people to work even during the storm. I'm asking those businesses to desist from this practice. You are putting the lives of your workers at risk, and you're also putting your own life at risk because you are going out to operate these businesses. Adhere to the shutdown procedures. The police have had to shut down some businesses, ask them to close over from Dorian and even during the passage of Tropical Storm Karen. I'm asking you please to desist from this practice. Once a shutdown is given, you are to remain closed until the all clear is given. And the all clear is given after discussions with the Met services and also with the police. And so we really asking persons to adhere to these shutdown procedures and do not put persons at risk. Of course, we know yesterday morning the time frame was short and some businesses would already open, and hence that's why we given at 8 o'clock, so we know persons might take a little time to shut down, but once those orders are given, we expect persons to be indoors by a particular time.
Forbes said essential services are stipulated by law and highlighted persons considered to be working with the essential services, noting that for others who choose to work during a storm, they are putting their lives at risk.
Persons in the health services, utilities, so when like CWS said, they will have their persons on standby or even within their stations for a period of time. Of course, NEMO personnel, police. So just generally those. So if you're a cameraman, no, you're not essential service. If you're in a gas station, no, you're not essential service. If you work in a supermarket, you're not essential. If you work in a bakery, no, you're not essential. Right? The essential services are mainly the police, the health personnel, and the utility companies, and that's governed by law. So that's clearly defined in the law who the essential services are. So you cannot say an employee who works at a fast food is an essential worker. No, it is defined by law, and these are the agencies or the persons within these agencies who may have to provide emergency services during an actual emergency or during the passage of a hazard or impact of a hazard. The reporter camera, not essential service. If you do go and put yourself in harm's way, you're taking your own life in your own hand, and you're accepting the risk that you're actually going out in conditions that can be really detrimental to your health and your well-being.
In 3 months' time, St. Vincent and the Grenadines will take up its non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council. Since its election in June, a number of leaders from different countries have sought SVG's support to represent them on the UN Security Council. This is according to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who at a recent media conference said it is a big deal for SVG to be elected and to take up its seat on the UN Security Council.
Our election to the Security Council, I can tell you about some of the traffic and documentation and letters that come to me from important leaders across the world about this or that issue and seeking our opinion, seeking our support. And sometimes you have friends who are urging you to support them on an issue on which some of your friends take different positions. And you have to take your own position through the prism of your own eyes, how you see the reality, and how they touch and concern your own condition and that of international law and the political economy as it exists and is unfolding.
On a visit to SVG last week, the European Union Director General of the Directorate General for International Cooperation and Development, Stefano Mansavasi, said they see the important role SVG has to play while sitting as a non-permanent member on the UN Security Council.
Special attention to St. Vincent and a special attention to the role that St. Vincent is playing and will play. It is the first time that a small state like St. Vincent will hold a non-permanent seat in the UN Security Council. This is at the same time the recognition of the country and also the recognition of a region. And I think that this seat could be used in order to make the voice and to do the voice of this region, of its specificities, of its vulnerability, like we have seen recently, in particular in the Bahamas with the hurricane, like we see very often, every year in reality. But also to talk about what is the lessons that this part of the world is taking in implementing all what is related to the climate change agenda, to all what related to sustainability.
Ambassador Mansavasi noted the geography of SVG as well as its impact on the world stage.
Specificity of St. Vincent and its leadership also in the region in order to, let's say, shape a more coherent presence of the countries in the world. Small is beautiful and small is important. And we have always said that the small islands are not just, islands for vulnerability. They are telling us a story. They are telling us a story of development, of human development, and of capacity of dealing with opportunities and also difficulties.
The United Nations Security Council is one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations charged with ensuring international peace and security accepting new members to the United Nations, and approving any changes to its charter. St. Vincent and the Grenadines will take its seat in January 2020 for a period of 2 years. 2 history lecturers at the SVG Community College commended Dr. Adrian Fraser on the publication of his latest book, From Villain to National Hero, Châteauguay and the Early Struggle for Independence of St. Vincent. Speaking at the book launch recently, the community college lecturers said the book addresses the known inaccuracies in other history books and that it should be listed to be used in schools across the country.
Of another, very often reeking with inaccuracies. A noted case being the death of Châteauguay. On pages 67 and 68, the position is taken based on the previous knowledge of this period that the narrative of a duel was unlikely. The use of guerrilla warfare, the timing, and the duration of the battle stands in contradiction of this story. To compound his argument, Dr. Fraser states, quote, "The death of Châteauguay would have been such a prize to the British that his defeat in any duel would certainly have been mentioned and Major Leott singled out." I turn your attention to the cover. Particularly the image of the loincloth. This image would have been interpreted based on colonial values as barbaric and undesirable.
Emancipation, we as Vincentians can shed the shadow of colonialism and embrace the pride, fight, and spirit of the indigenous people. Dr. Fraser was able to successfully appeal to this idea. There is the call for a rethinking of our past. This challenge calls for our experts in curriculum development to revamp existing glorification of the Europeans as heroes and implant in our spring of ideas our own heroes, men and women with whom we as Vincentians can identify. So on that note, I want to congratulate Fraser on an excellent publication, and I think this should be part of our curriculum in all of the schools. And I hope too that the Ministry of Education can take on board the curriculum development, maybe to create a comic, develop a sort of comic strip wherein the youths from very early can read about the exploit and achievements of Châteauguay and the indigenous.
In his book, Dr. Fraser also focuses on SVG's lone national hero, Joseph Châteauguay, with the hope that Vincentians would have a better understanding and appreciation of his struggles, which eventually led to SVG's independence.
Now, I've always have an objection to us having national heroes at this particular time for a number of reasons. But I also felt that Châteauguay, because that is in the citation, that Châteauguay had not been given his due. It is only recently, I think, we had the Châteauguay National Park, and the obelisk was established in 1985. And there's a lot of ignorance about Joseph Châteauguay, and I meet people all the time who ask me questions and who give comments, and I think some of this was mentioned before. A few persons told me, is Châteauguay for real? How come there's no Châteauguay in St. Vincent? So I don't believe there was any Châteauguay.
Division of Teacher Education, formerly SVG Teachers College, commences 55th anniversary celebrations today with a church service. This and other stories coming up when we return with more local news. Stay with us.
Local news sponsored in part by Flow.
funeral service should be one that you can be proud of, one that leaves lasting memories of your loved ones. And that's where you need the New Haven Funeral Home. When you walk through our doors, our work begins. From corsages, to flowers, to guest books, whatever you need to make that funeral a memorable one. We are proud of the quality and class we have brought to the industry. We are proud for having trained the very first certified embalmers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are proud of leading the way in terms of live streaming of funerals online so that your family members overseas could also be part of the celebration of life. We are constantly improving our services. We are driven by customer satisfaction, and we are proud of all that we do.
New Haven Funeral Home, helping families preserve memories.
C-Star Limited is now located on the third floor of the first St. Vincent Bank building. They have extended their range of products to furniture, including patio sets, closets, shoe casing, beds and mattresses, TV cabinets, and kitchen cupboards, just to name a few of their luxurious pieces, all at unbelievable prices. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out upstairs the first St. Vincent Bank building. And don't forget, they still have the best in windows, doors, burglar bars, rails, and vanities. C-Star Limited, where quality and style is our motto.
Kidney disease is a growing concern around the world and here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Chronic kidney disease is a life-threatening condition which occurs when a person's kidneys are no longer able to clean the toxins and waste products from the blood or perform other kidney functions normally. When this happens, a person needs dialysis. Dialysis is where a machine takes over the function of the kidney and safely removes the poisonous waste from the blood. Since 2012, Health Solutions Inc. has operated a full-service hemodialysis facility in SVG that offers state-of-the-art equipment, courteous, well-trained staff, and a comfortable treatment environment.
We're encouraging for early detection. Anyone who is either diabetic or hypertensive and has any questions or concerns, please contact us at 784-451-2836 or visit us at www.healthsolutionsSVG.org.
Your sofa sets, your mattress, your carpets, your office chairs, and car seats all hold body fluids, viruses, and bacteria that can be harmful to your health. At Howard's, we will steam clean your sofa sets, your mattress, your carpet, and your office chairs with heated dry steam that kills viruses and bacteria. Call Howard to steam clean your sofa, mattress, carpets, and chairs at 532-8855 or 451-2960. That's 532-8855 or 451-2960.
We're celebrating 60 with the best, and bringing value home is priceless. At course, you get the best of both the worlds. Save money and time. It's a vibes. We got prices on the low. We got it. Bring your fam to the store. We got brand name items for your whole comment. We got what you need and more. It's happening in the store. Shop at Courts.
Welcome back. Learning from the past, celebrating the moment, shaping the future. This is the theme under which the Division of Teacher Education of the SVG Community College is celebrating its 55th anniversary of operation. Today, a church service was held to kickstart the activities which will be held to observe the milestone. Deputy Dean Dr. Godwin James says 55 years is a huge accomplishment for any organization or institution, as he reflected on the establishment of the division, which started out as the SVG Teachers College.
Not only has there been a move in building structure and location, but also in the programs offered and the student intake. Let's reminisce with one of the first students from the class of 1964. Mrs. Ainola Tucker states, the Teachers Training College opened its doors in 1964, the 27th of October, when it offered the certificate program in teacher education. Classes were held at the old grammar school building. 2 rooms were occupied for use. Assembly, lectures, and everything else were held in the main hall. The smaller room was that supposedly the library was filled with empty bookshelves, no books. There was a big sign over the door marked library.
Dr. James said that the division has come a long way despite many challenges.
Still resemble the physical setting of the 20th century. This physical space consists of chalkboards, dim lights, open classrooms, few or no electrical outlets, and the neat rows of desks and chairs to accommodate classes. Nevertheless, our student teachers do not sit passively and are lectured to. Rather, the lecturers ensure that the student teachers become active participants in their own learning, thus creating an environment which caters to the 21st century learner. Lecturers have reviewed their course outlines to bring them in line with online and distance education programs. These have incorporated the learning management system Moodle to present lessons online using the flipped classroom methodology, where the student teachers interact with the presentations at home and then come to the classroom to discuss and share ideas on the topic, thus ensuring that there is more active participation from the students.
Pastor Adolph Davis, who led the service, challenged the student teachers to live up to the expectations of the learning institution.
So we can look back, we can look forward. Jeremiah is saying here, God warned the people, destruction is coming, so you better change now. I am saying to you, my brothers and sisters, our education system, our nation at large, this warning of Jeremiah is extremely relevant at this time.
One of the first teachers to attend the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers College in 1964 was Winston Bacchus, who described his experience at the institution as life-changing and unforgettable. Bacchus, who hails from the Richland Park area, has been part of the education system for 40 years. He served as a classroom educator for 20 years and an education officer for another 20 years. Bacchus said that his journey as an educator has been fulfilling both on a personal and professional level.
In 1970, at that time I was appointed as education officer, and Sir Rupert John was the then governor. He was the first native governor of St. Vincent. He intimated to the chief education officer that he would like to visit as many schools as possible. I was appointed to accompany the governor on these visits. So after visiting a few schools, sometimes we got there while they were having assembly, prayers and assembly and so on. And after visiting a few schools, one day he suggested to me, he said he would like the children to have a pledge to repeat every morning at assembly time.
He said that one of his major achievements in the education system is being asked to write the National Pledge of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
We were eager to see Buckingham Palace and to meet the Queen. Well, there were many other awardees from different parts of the Commonwealth who came at the same time in London, Buckingham Palace, and I met quite a few of them. And then we were introduced to the Queen, and then we were called one at a time to meet the Queen and have the award done. So what you see on the photograph there is when I met the Queen. She pinned on the award on my jacket and shook my hand and so on.
Did she say anything to you?
Yes, she said she wanted to congratulate me and so on. And said, asked me what area of education I was. Teaching, I did teaching, and also I did administration.
Backer said that he was also pleased to receive the Queen's Award in 2010 for his contribution in education. Transparency and accountability are the cornerstones of quality assurance, and evaluators with the National Accreditation Board have to be professional when assessing institutions. So says Andrea Hazel of the National Accreditation Board as she addressed the ceremony on Friday to mark the re-registration of the American University of St. Vincent with the National Accreditation Board. Given the evaluators' reflection on the re-registration process, Hazel said it was a long and arduous task with much work put in by representatives of the National Accreditation Board and the university itself. She commended the university staff for its efforts and said their hard work is a beacon of quality.
The university stepped up to the plate and was able to fill the missing gaps. Given the mandate AUS had to meet and what appeared from the standpoint of the evaluators, there was a rush to get things done. I could imagine the AUS team worked overtime because, as mentioned before, the situation looked bleak. The additional documents were presented on the morning of the external site visit, 23rd July 2019. I must admit that this placed the review team under some pressure to corroborate evidence and produce an unchallenged report. However, we knew what we were looking for. As an evaluator, given what I had seen before, the university was able to improve upon what it submitted within record time. This presents an opportunity for AUS to demonstrate quality and engender among other institutions to commit to higher levels of quality in the industry.
Hazel said the work of an evaluator is crucial in facilitating quality service and protecting the board against liability.
External evaluators, our duty is to perform thorough investigations as quality assurance is at the apex of the registration and accreditation process for higher education institutions in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Our indirect duty is also to guard the National Accreditation Board against possible litigations. And so transparency and accountability are cornerstones in the culture of quality assurance. Furthermore, the decisions of the National Accreditation Board on the registration or accreditation status of an institution or program rest on qualitative criteria rather than on inflexible or absolute quantitative standards. Therefore, evaluators must be knowledgeable, professional, competent, and objective in order to provide sound and reliable recommendations to the board.
Bahamas government ramping up public awareness campaign in the fight against climate change weeks after Hurricane Dorian devastation. This from the region when we return. Stay with us.
That was a local news segment.
The Everready Funeral Home at French's is your friend in times of grief. With over 40 years' experience, they are prepared to take care of all your funeral arrangements. Embalming, lowering device service, grave mattresses, carpeting, vaults, tombs, and wreaths. Arrangements for television obituaries. Cremation is available upon request. Everready Funeral Home offers the finest in caskets and coffins, local and imported. So, in your time of need, call Everready Funeral Home at any time. 456-1494. Everready Funeral Home, offering service above self.
Juicy, juicy. Drink today. Juicy, juicy. Same great taste. Juicy, juicy. The original drink. It's a Vinci Tang. Get your red and banana. Pineapple. Juicy cola. Orange or apple. Juicy for you and for your neighbor. It's a Vinci Tang. Enjoy it juicy. The original Vinci Tang. Juicy.
Welcome to Finishing and Furnishing, where a warm and friendly staff awaits you. At Finishing and Furnishing, you feel like you're in a home away from home. You will find a wide range of bedroom, living room, and appliances displayed in a stunning setting. When dealing with furniture, you need to take into consideration the colors of your room. That's why at our Penta Studio, we supply the best in interior and exterior paints. Have wooden furniture? Well, we also have stains, sealers, lacquers to get that matte or gloss finish of your desire. So give us a call at 457-2206 and come on down to Finishing and Furnishing today and start building the home of your dreams.
At RE/MAX, we know you want to sell your property at top dollar and as fast as possible. To help you sell at top dollar, all of our agents are trained to negotiate the highest possible price for your property. And to sell as fast as possible, our agents can access over 120,000 agents around the globe, which results in more potential buyers. This is why nobody in the world sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Contact your RE/MAX agent today and get your property sold.
The body moves in many expressive ways. The freedom of movement is often taken for granted until that freedom is restricted by pain. Myers Pain Kill Gel is scientifically formulated to alleviate muscle and joint inflammation. With this gel, you can target the pain in areas where it's needed the most. Bring the joy of movement back into your life with Myers Pain Kill Gel. Available at leading stores and pharmacies in SVG.
Jams Car Rental has a fleet of vehicles covering all transportation options you'll need to discover or rediscover SVG. Whether you want to head to the countryside, enjoy a special weekend, or take a trip to one of our national sites, we have just the right vehicle for you. Jams Car Rental, located in Edinburgh. Call us at 485-6620 or 529-6393.
We're celebrating 60 with the best and bringing value home is priceless. Of course, you get the best of both the worlds. Save money and time. It's the vibes. We got prices on the low. We got it. Bring your fam to the store. We got brand name items for your whole comment. We got what you need and more. It's happening in the store. Shop at Courts.
When your eyes only, I never need. The health of your eyes greatly impacts your daily life, from driving, watching television to texting. At Imperial Optical Inc., we promise you the best in eye care. Our trained staff, in-house ophthalmologist, optometrist, full-service lab and optical boutique position us to cater to your entire eye care. Understanding your needs and how to meet them, whether you require routine eye examination, prescription glasses, contact lenses, or sunglasses, you can choose from a wide range of designer frames at affordable prices and be greeted with excellent customer service in an inviting atmosphere when you visit us opposite the Anglican Cathedral on 58 Granville Street, Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., where your vision is our mission. Telephone 456-1882. Fax 456-2205. That's new. When your eyes
The regional news segment sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited.
Massey Stores Pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
Welcome to our news from the region. Weeks after Hurricane Dorian devastated several parts of the Bahamas, the government is getting more serious about climate change and will be ramping up its public awareness on the issue. We hear more in this Eyewitness News.
The environment and housing, now promoting the importance of climate change awareness after the impact of Hurricane Dorian.
In the beginning, when climate change came up, there were some skeptics out there. There still are. But the data is clear. If you just look at this month of August alone, it was the hottest month on record. And so what that means is that since we've been recording temperature, since the invention of the thermometer, it was the hottest month on record. And we saw the effects of that. We saw record temperatures in India. We saw manure spontaneously ignite in Spain. We had heat waves in the North Pole and in Alaska. I mean, these things are unheard of in our lifetime.
According to Environment and Housing Minister Romuald Ferreira, a large contributor to the issue is carbon dioxide and methane. He says the ministry began taking local strides to combat these effects, beginning with sanitary landfill.
Executed a new agreement to manage that better, thereby preventing and managing methane releases into the atmosphere from our landfill. We installed a megawatt of energy, renewable energy, at the sports center, reducing our carbon footprint by the same amount. We have solar panels on Anatole Rogers now, with more to go up on TG Global. We're doing our part.
He noted, however, that despite their greatest efforts, the Bahamas has become most vulnerable to the effects of climate change due to our geographic location.
We're such a big ocean nation that our vulnerability is actually huge. It's very, very big. And we're very, very flat. And so you compare those sort of factors, which is why we're making this declaration, and we're saying, hey, we are going to lead this charge. We're going to lead it. And we're going to make sure that our voices are heard by the polluters or the big emitters. And we want citizens, our local citizens, to be more aware of their behavior, be more aware of their activities.
While acknowledging that Dorian will not be the last hurricane of that magnitude to hit our islands, the minister says they are working to be better prepared for its impact.
The ultimate goal is for an event like this to happen and there'll be no damage. There'll be no loss of life. I mean, that is the ultimate in resiliency right there. And so we have to get to that point. And so 150 mile per hour winds, while it may have been suitable then, as we progress further and further into the 21st century, and we expect these storms to be more frequent and more ferocious, we have to revisit it.
Ferreira said that these efforts could not be completed alone, and they are now collaborating with NGOs and NPOs to get the message out and to increase effective preparation for years ahead.
The states of emergency in 2 major parishes in Jamaica have been extended until October 19th. However, opposition senators maintain that the measure is not an effective crime-fighting tool. We hear more in this TVJ News report.
I'm going to stay, and I'm going to vote one last day time for an extension of the state of emergency.
Opposition Senator Lambert Brown making his position clear. But for the leader of government business, the SOEs are needed. Kamina Johnson-Smith pointed to the over 250 murders in Clarendon and St. Catherine from January to September 5.
Cumulatively, the combined geographical space, that is St. Catherine and Clarendon, accounted for almost 1/3 of murders in the country since the start of the year. 14 days, quite simply, is not enough time to take a hold of the criminality that has become entrenched in certain areas.
She indicated that the SOEs have saved lives, and so far, 135 persons have been arrested in Clarendon and St. Catherine. For opposition Senator Floyd Morris, he wanted to yawn during Mrs. Johnson-Smith's presentation, but the senator, who is also blind, said he resisted the urge.
I listened to the presentation of the leader of government business, in which she tried to convince herself that the state of emergency is working. And when I looked at her facial expression, I knew that she was unconvinced. But equally the body language of the supportive cast was unconvincing.
To support that claim from his colleague, Mr. Brown used statistics pointing to fewer guns being seized.
Guns seized last year, 507. Guns seized this year, 484. The guns have not been removed under the state of emergency. When it comes to arrests, last year there's 9,978 arrests for the same period. This year, arrests down by over 600 to 9,329. It's not working. It's going in the wrong direction.
And when the debate ended, the SOEs in Clarendon and St. Catherine were extended until October 19.
Meanwhile, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley over the weekend has had to defend her administration's handling of the country's crime problem at a meeting in Brooklyn, New York. She was pressed on the issue by one of the participants at a town hall meeting who was specifically concerned about the number of murders, which stand at 35 for the year.
Every life that is lost is one too many.
I agree.
But I don't want us to take things out of context. And the bottom line is that even over the course of the last 4 months, 5 months, there has been a significant reduction in the number and the rate at which people were being shot in the country. And why? Because people realize that there are people watching and there are people acting. As we speak, I've just taken the extraordinary act of adding a number of judges, 7 new judges, which carries our complement to over another $1 million in expenditure when the year comes, on just judicial salaries and not other expenditure, such that we will have 5 criminal courts. We inherited 10,000 criminal cases in a backlog.
Swedish teenager climate activist accuses world leaders at the UN of failing to act on climate change. This from the international scene. When we return, stay with us.
That was a regional news segment sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited.
Massey Stores Pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors and children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores, Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
Singer is your family store. We sell everything you need for your kitchen and more. Top brands and appliances. TVs, fridges, cookers. We make your life so easy. Just come in and see us. A wide range of furniture. Right here at Singer. Affordable beds and mattresses. Right here at Singer. Washing machines to make your laundry clean and fresh. Singer is a family store.
gives you the best hire purchase deals.
Right here at Singer.
We'll outfit your home.
Right here at Singer. The #1 family store.
It's us with Singer.
Tourism is for me. Tourism is for you. Tourism is everyone's business. Yeah. Live it, love it, embrace it.
A funeral is considered as the last goodbye. The memories are for you, the family and loved ones. Joseph the Silva Senior Memorial Funeral Home sympathizes and understands the grieving process. They go the extra mile, offering counseling, private funeral, chapel service, night viewing and church service, along with other services expected at a professional funeral home. Visit the office at Mesopotamia. A warm, modern, and customer-friendly environment awaits you. Joseph the Silva Senior Memorial Funeral Home, offering affordability in time of need. We are here. We care.
We're celebrating 60 with the best, and bringing value home is priceless. Of course, you get the best of both the worlds. Save money and time. It's a vibes. We got prices on the low. We got it. Bring your fam to the store. We got brand name items for your whole comment. We got what you need and more. It's happening in the store. Shop at Courts.
SVG-TV International News segment sponsored in part by Carrez Distribution Limited.
You like doing laundry, right? Nah, I didn't think so. The stains? Oh, nightmare. Thanks to the new Tropic Fresh laundry detergent, doing laundry is now hassle-free. Tropic Fresh removes dirt, cuts through stains, leaves your whites whiter, and your colors brighter. Tropic Fresh has antibacterial agents that kills germs present in your clothing. It's gentle on hands, and the smell? Longer, fresh fragrance. Available in original and lemon scents and in various sizes. Tropic Fresh laundry detergent. Agents and distributors, Carrez Distribution Limited.
Welcome to the international news. Swedish campaigner Greta Thunberg has made a passionate speech to world leaders at the UN, accusing them of failing to act on climate change. About 60 world leaders took part in the one-day meeting organized by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who earlier said countries could only speak at the summit if they came with action plans to cut carbon emissions. U.S. President Donald Trump, a climate change skeptic, had not been expected at the meeting, but he was briefly spotted in the audience. The teenager climate change activist told the gathering at the UN that science surrounding climate crisis is crystal clear, but the solutions are nowhere in sight.
For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you're doing enough when the politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight? You are failing us. But the young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you choose to fail us, I say we will never forgive you.
Greta Thunberg and 15 other children have filed a complaint at the United Nations, alleging that 5 of the world's leading economies have not done enough. The summit comes just days after millions of people protested around the world, calling for climate justice.
And that's the news. Sports is just ahead, but before that, we take a look at the local weather forecast.
SVG-TV International News segment was sponsored in part by Carrez Distribution Limited.
You like doing laundry, right? Nah, I didn't think so. The stains? Oh, nightmare. Thanks to the new Tropic Fresh laundry detergent, doing laundry is now hassle-free. Tropic Fresh removes dirt, cuts through stains, leaves your whites whiter, and your colors brighter. Tropic Fresh has antibacterial agents that kills germs present in your clothing. It's gentle on hands, and the smell? Longer, fresh fragrance. Available in original and lemon scents and in various sizes. Tropic Fresh laundry detergent. Agents and distributors, Carrez Distribution Limited.
The weather report sponsored in part by General Hardware, Budgemart Limited.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentions for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Bebin, the diaper made with the very best for the very best. Keeps up with them on the go. With a wetness indicator, Bebin keeps your child dry and happy. For quality and affordability, choose Bebin every time.
Bebin Premium.
Now for a local weather forecast. Present conditions partly cloudy, winds calm. Temperature 28.0 degrees Celsius, relative humidity 77%. Barometric pressure 1013.0 millibars, 24-hour rainfall 2.3 millimeters. Today's maximum temperature 30.6 degrees Celsius, today's minimum temperature 24.2 degrees Celsius. Sunset today at 6:59 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow at 5:53 a.m. Our forecast: partly cloudy to cloudy and breezy at times with occasional showers and a chance of isolated thunderstorms. And our synopsis: unstable conditions are affecting the islands.
The weather report was sponsored in part by General Hardware, Budgemart Limited.
Bebin, the diaper made with the very best for the very best. Keeps up with them on the go. With a wetness indicator, Bebin keeps your child dry and happy. For quality and affordability, choose Bebin every time.
Bebin Premium.
The Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture and the National Cultural Foundation present the National Dance Showcase, The Medley, an evening of dance featuring Vincy Dance Ensemble from Carifest to 14. Saturday, September 28th, 2019 at the Peace Memorial Hall at 7 p.m. Contribution, adults $20, children 15 years and under $10. Come, get involved, dance. This ad is sponsored by the National Cultural Foundation.
SVG-TV Sports, sponsored by Remax Results Realty.
Remax Results Realty proudly presents this modern 4-bedroom home located in the premier neighborhood of Cane Garden. Built in 2005, it features an open design, circular stairway, and amazing views of the Grenadine Islands. For additional information, we invite you to visit our website at svghomesandland.com or call our offices in Diamond at 784-456-2016.
Welcome to the evening sports. Guyana's Amazon Warriors sealed a spot in the 2019 CPL playoffs with a 12-run win DLS method in a rain-truncated chase against Barbados Tridents. Their win was built on yet another impressive performance from their bowlers, particularly their spinners. Chris Green took a career-best 4 for 14, and Imran Tahir and Shoaib Malik took 3 between them to dismiss the Tridents for 138. The Trident spinners couldn't come into play as effectively as Brandon King's unbeaten 50 led the way in a chase that was stopped after 11 overs by rain, with Amazon Warriors comfortably ahead of the par score. They now have 12 points in 6 matches, while Trident stay in 4th place with 4 points in 5 games. Promising St. Lucia left-arm fast bowler Dylan John has been called up to join the Windward Islands Volcanoes training camp in St. George's, Grenada. The Volcanoes are currently preparing for the 2019 Cricket West Indies Najika Regional Super 50 tournament. Via a press release, the St. Lucia National Cricket Association stated that the young pacer, whilst in Grenada, will be engaged in fitness training sessions and a number of practice matches at the camp, which will conclude on October 30th. The 2019 Windward Islands Volcanoes squad includes Sunil Ambris, Alec Athanase, Roland Cato, Kirk Edwards, Kavem Hodge, Devon Smith, Sherman Lewis, Obed McCoy, Ray Jordan, Josh Thomas, Bashkar Yadram, Larry Edward, Kemet Demba, Desron Maloney, and Dylan John. India's captain Virat Kohli has been sanctioned by the International Cricket Council following his clash with South Africa's Buren Hendricks during Sunday's third T20 International. Kohli has received a demerit point and an official warning for an inappropriate shoulder contact with fast bowler Hendricks, who took 2 for 14 before South Africa prevailed by 9 wickets in Bengaluru. This amounts to the 30-year-old being found guilty of a level 1 breach of the ICC Code of Conduct. Kohli has now committed 3 offences since the ICC introduced its revised code in September 2016, meaning he faces a ban if he errs similarly again. The evening sports will continue in a moment. Stay with us.
My sister's pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores, Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
LA Unique Upholstery. Quality at a low cost. We build to suit your needs. Contact us at Redemption Shops 457-0182 or Stony Grungs 453-2089.
This is Jake's Kitchen, the most trendy place to customize your kitchen in all of SVG. And when we say trendy, you better believe it's hot. Because we've got the latest in stylish kitchen accessories and fittings at astonishingly available prices. Guaranteed to make your kitchen bling bling. And our new arrivals will do just that. Step up to our showroom, upstairs Caribbean Glass in Kingstown, and make your kitchen the envy of all. When you're customized by Jake's Kitchen, you don't keep up with the neighbors. Oh no, the neighbors better keep up with you.
We're celebrating 60 with the best, and bringing value home is priceless. Of course, you get the best of both the worlds. Save money and time. It's the vibes. We got prices on the low. We got it. Bring your fam to the store. We got brand name items for your whole comment. We got what you need and more. It's happening in the store. Shop at Courts.
Welcome back. Sebastian Vettel ended his 13-month win drought with a controversial victory in the Singapore Grand Prix on the weekend. The German benefited from unusual Ferrari strategy to leapfrog teammate Charles Leclerc into the lead. Leclerc told the team over the radio that it was unfair and it will do little to reduce tension within the team. But it was a much-needed victory for the 4-time world champion, who has had a difficult, error-strewn season and faced questions about his status and future. Ferrari's strategy secured them their first 1-2 since the 2017 Hungarian Grand Prix and Vettel's first win since the Belgian Grand Prix at the end of August 2018. And it pushed Lewis Hamilton, who started second in the Mercedes, down to 4th behind Red Bull's Max Verstappen. Action in the All-Leeward Clubs Championship on Saturday at the Curtains Plain field saw Leyu losing 1-2 to Hillview. Meantime, at the Golden Plain Field in Fitzhugh, North Leeward Predators FC defeated Camdonia Chelsea FC 1-2. All games that were scheduled for Sunday, 22nd September were postponed. Only 2 matches were possible over the weekend in the National Lotteries Authority Top Belair Progressive Organization Softball Cricket Championship at the Daphne Playing Field. Gary Construction Simple Boys defeated one team by 10 wickets in a match reduced to 15 overs on Saturday. One team made 64 for 7 or 15 overs, while Simple Boys scored 70 for no wicket or 4.5 overs. Daphne United beat Computech Older Boys by 5 wickets in a match reduced to 17 overs. Older Boys knocked 89 for 6 of 17 overs as Daphne United made 90 for 5 of 13.2 overs. The 3 matches scheduled for Sunday were called off as SVG was under a tropical storm watch. And that's how we end sports this evening. We'll be right back to wrap things up.
SVG-TV Sports was sponsored by Remax Results Realty.
Remax Results Realty proudly presents a 2-story home that behaves like a 1-story. But there is loads of space downstairs for a 3rd-bedroom apartment with large eat-in kitchen, living room, and 2 baths. Located in the Argyle-Yamboo area, it boasts great views of the sea and airport. For additional information, we invite you to visit our website at svghomesandland.com or call our offices in Diamond, 784-456-2016.
Quality products, quality care, low prices, great customer service, all at Q-Care Pharmacy. Q-Care leads the way, providing all your pharmaceutical needs, a variety of personal care products, and so much more. Located on Halifax Street. Telephone number 451-2690. Q-Care Pharmacy, where the Q stands for quality.
26 retail shops and restaurants open now for your convenience. At the cruise ship terminal, at the cruise ship terminal. It's a great venue to rent for functions, secure parking, great ambiance. At the cruise ship terminal, at the cruise ship terminal.
Convenient parking at the Kingstown Cruise Ship Terminal and the Geese Compound. The Kingstown Cruise Ship Terminal has 26 retail shops and restaurants with a variety of food offerings. A great secure venue for your function with a great ambience. Also, we offer lock storage service. The Cruise Ship Terminal. Convenience for you.
At the cruise ship terminal, the cruise ship terminal. We're celebrating 60 with the best, and bringing value home is priceless. Of course, you get the best of both the worlds. Save money and time. It's the vibes. We got prices on the low. We got it. Bring your fam to the store. We got brand name items for your whole comment. We got what you need and more. It's happening in the store. Shop at Courts.
And now for a second look at the headlines. NEMO director reiterates call for persons to be vigilant and heed all precautions issued during the hurricane season. Bahamas government ramping up public awareness campaign in the fight against climate change weeks after Hurricane Dorian devastation. Swedish teenager climate activist accuses world leaders at the UN of failing to act on climate change. And in sports, Chris Green and Imran Tahir shine as Guyana Amazon Warriors qualify for Heroes CPL playoffs. On behalf of all of us here at SVG-TV, thanks for viewing. I am Yvette Boynes. Don't forget to visit our Facebook page for a recap of the news and daily headlines. Also tune in for SVG-TV's News in 15 at 12:45 p.m. weekdays. Have a good evening.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They call General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General? Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Set for Life is back again. Your favorite game. Win house and land. SUV plus 50 grand. 50 and 25 grand. Second and third prize in your hand. So play as much as you can. Monthly prices to be won. Set for life. A brand new house. Set for life. A brand new car. Set for life. $10 for a bet. Live your life with no regrets. Set for life. Did your day done set? Set for life. December 28th. Set for life. Check the lotto machine. Get set for 2019. Set for life. Live all of your dreams. Be a winner, turn your own keys. Set for life.
We're celebrating 60 with the best, and bringing value home is priceless. Of course, you get the best of both the worlds. Save money and time. It's the vibes. We got prices on the low.